Kishor for an express dialogue in Hyderabad at a better time. The much awaited Lok Sabha polls is almost upon us, and he has had a unique sort of participant observer status in these battles for a decade now. Participated just one tiny remove, not as a direct contestant as yet, but as India's most celebrated professional political strategist, one who helped parties craft their outreach to the voter. By now, he is able to translate that decade-long experience with the practice and processes of electoral strategy into live theory. A compelling analysis that reads the pulse of the time. Prashant Kishor is the only person in the polity to have an enviable record of working closely with almost all leading politicians across states, north, south, east and west, and with a high success rate. It's a glittering and eclectic resume after helping Mr. Modi win his 2014 mandate. His work took him to Nitish Kumar, Arvind Kejriwal, Captain Amrinder Singh, Mamata Banerjee, M.K. Stalin, Jagan Reddy, and the Gandhi siblings. You name it. In the process, he has acquired a grassroots understanding of voter psychology. From whatever he has liberally shared of how he does it, we also know it is on the back of real-time data, not only collected from pre-given data sets, but modified and confirmed by talking to people on the ground. That's perhaps the most important thing that he does and did. Something political parties were meant to do, but sometimes lost their way. In the processes, in the layers of protocol, VIPism, and security cordons. PK, as he is popularly known, is here today not because he is strategizing for any party or leader, but because we want to know what he sees from this unique vantage point of his. At this juncture, just a month away from general election, which may result in a historic third term for a PM, after no less than Nehru, what he makes of this polity in transition. One, which he perhaps plans to enter at a future time. I wholeheartedly welcome Prashant Kishor to our inaugural long-format Express Dialogue at Hyderabad.
Thank you. Well, it's rather glittering introduction. We are highly overrated. I have said this before and I would like to repeat, all what you attribute to me or my team or my work, these are all highly overrated. Make no mistake, elections are won or lost by the leaders, their work or lack of it, their workers and the support of the people, the hard work of their cadre. People like us, when we were doing the work, when I was doing this work, at the very best, we could contribute on the margin, just to align things a little better, just to make things a bit more efficient, just to make supply chain and the communication be a bit more effective. But to say that X, Y, Z, and it applies to me as much as it applies to others, individuals and groups, that so-and-so has helped a party or a leader win election is an overstatement to say the least. Certainly, I wouldn't like to say this for myself. The other point what you mentioned, that we listen to people. In one line, I describe my work is structured listening to people. And you said that the parties have lost their way somewhere, and that's why probably the need for likes of us to do the job. That's not true. It's easier said than done. Look at how we have been told, and as we were growing up, you would have heard this in Hindi, I would say, Raja भेष बदल कर निकले तो उनको पता चला. You would have heard this story time and again. Kings, they got to know about what people think only when they changed and went to the masses. This kind of summarizes everything for me. No matter how smart you are, no matter how big is your intelligence, no matter how big is your grassroots connect, how strong is your grassroots connect, someone who is sitting on the throne is never ever going to get an unbiased, unfiltered opinion. So it's not that parties have not been able to do and hence somebody else is doing the work for them. It is structurally the challenge. If you go and sit on the chair, I would face the same problem. Lot of us, we underplay this aspect when we say, how come this guy is not, how come my chief minister doesn't know what people think about him, that he is inaccessible. It's again, when you go and work closely with them, you realize how difficult it is because you don't see it, and it has been there for centuries, not only for the elected leaders. Even when there was no elections, it was very difficult for the kings or the people, the rulers, to know actually what is happening on the ground. So that was just 2 points I would like to raise from what you said. Thank you very much.
So we'll start the question Q&A session. Kalyan and I will ask the initial questions, then we'll open it up for our other colleagues and the audience to ask their questions. So, BJP's first list with all their heavyweights are already out. PM seems to be on campaign mode. Do they look like set for the race more than anyone else in the fray? Do you therefore see 2024 as a foregone conclusion, as is being said everywhere?
Well, I don't think they have done anything which they have not been doing the last 5 years. So he is in campaign mode forever. So to that extent, I don't see this as an aberration. If he would not have been in campaign mode, that would have been the aberration. Again, I don't have a crystal ball to make a prediction who is going to win, but one can make an informed guess. Again, I would like to contextualize this. Anyone who claims, no matter how good a psephologist he or she is, or claims to be, that they know who is going to win how many seats, make no mistake, they are just at very best they are making an informed guess. No one knows. No one knows. It's like calling the coin. If in this room there are 50 people and we say, okay, let's call head or tails, 50% people will get it right. That's how the law of probability works. Tomorrow, the same 50 people will start going to the television audiences and newspaper and say, okay, tell me how to call a coin. The fact is you don't know how to call a coin. But what looks, from what we hear, what we can probably make a guess, BJP-led NDA, for sure they have a massive advantage over their opposition, their opponents. Not necessarily because they are early with their campaign, not necessarily because he is hugely popular, not only because they have huge electoral muscle. All these things are known. It's because opposition has not been able to put their act together, certainly not well in time to raise a challenge. In democracy, especially like a country like India, you, or for that matter anyone, should never underestimate the size or the opportunity for the opposition. There is always a majority of Indians are always in opposition. No party gets more than 40% vote. So, if 100 people went to vote for Mr. Modi in 2019, it's not a subjective assessment. Just look at data last 75 years. Nobody has been able to get 50% or plus vote in India. Meaning, whoever went to vote, more than half were not convinced with who you are, your policies, your programs, your promises, your ideology, your offerings. So, opposition is never weak in India. The second aspect is, when you have close to 700 million people still not making 100 rupees a day, you must not take opposition lightly. What we are seeing is opposition parties or the opposition formation of opposition party could be weak. Opposition per se is not weak in this country. And that's why a leader like Mr. Modi perpetually appears to be in campaign mode. But because from their experience, they know they are not as popular as media is making it out to be, or their supporters are making it out to be. So they are continuously trying to kind of cover up. It's unfortunate from opposition's point of view that they have not been able to put together a formation well in time with right narrative and effort on the ground to mount a challenge. And hence, if elections were to happen tomorrow, there's no prize for guessing that BJP-led NDA would have a huge advantage.
That brings us to the next, absolutely it follows from that, we are sitting in the Deccan Plateau. How realistic does BJP's Mission South look like? There is a tendency to say that the South is terra incognita for the BJP, but in reality, it is emerging as a force in Telangana with a 14% vote share, making deft moves in Andra, has run governments in Karnataka. Firstly, in a pan-South sense, what do you think of the typology, if we say so, of the whole region having a reflexive anti-BJP politics of seeing them as an northern party?
I think it's oversimplification. I never would like to believe, or I've never subscribed to this idea of North-South from BJP's politics point of view, because they have been the ruling party in Karnataka now almost 20 years, either ruling party or principal opposition. So this North-South thing doesn't hold. What does hold is the whole country. You can make a divide, East and South and West and North. When I say East and South, I start from Bihar. Then I go to Bengal. Then I go to Orissa, come down to Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. This East and South roughly accounts for 210 seats. And BJP till now have been, even with their quote-unquote great performance last election in Bengal, in Orissa, in Bihar, 100% strike rate, their total count is less than 50. 17 in Bihar, 18 in, including 18 in Bengal and 17 in Bihar. A lot of people think that BJP has swept Bihar, but BJP fought only 17 out of 40 and they won 17. In Bengal, they won only 18. So this, out of 220 seats, BJP's total count is less than 50. So one statement, if you are a BJP supporter, you would like to see whether your graph is increasing in this South, East and South or not. One can safely say that their graph is increasing. May not immediately translate into higher number of seats, dramatically higher number of seats, but definitely this tally is going to go up from Bihar, Bengal, Orissa, Andhra, Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. The total tally of BJP vis-a-vis what they got in 2019 is going to go up. How much is, I don't want to make a guess, but it would be up by few seats at least. What would be more important to understand is their vote share will go up dramatically. So I have already said, and I repeat myself, that in Tamil Nadu I see BJP breaking into double-digit vote share. That would be a massive development politically, like what we have seen in Telangana, 14%.
I was coming to that.
So in a state like Tamil Nadu, if BJP breaks into double-digit votes here, where even if they get 0 seat, that would be a moment of significance if you are a student of politics and you want to follow these things. Similarly, in Orissa, they are already #1. In Bengal, again, I don't want to make a prediction, but I see, unlike what most people are predicting, I am predicting BJP doing better than TMC in all likelihood. So be ready.
That's a big.
Yes, be ready for be ready for a surprise result coming from Bengal in favor of BJP. Them increasing seats in all other states, Odisha, Telangana, Andra. I don't know if they would be able to add seats in Tamil Nadu or Kerala, but certainly the vote share. So from that point of view, they are the rising political force. They may take 5 years, it may take 10 years, but they will gain in this area. They are cognizant of this fact that this is the area where they need to build. They are investing time, energy. Look at the number of visits Prime Minister has made to Tamil Nadu alone in last 5 years. We don't pay attention to these things. How many visits Prime Minister has made to Tamil Nadu is staggering. Tamil Nadu now ranks only third, I believe, only after Gujarat, and because of the recent visit in Maharashtra, now Tamil Nadu has gone to #3. Otherwise, till recently I was following, it was #2 most visited state by the Prime Minister. And that's why you see, they are aware. From the opposition point of view, the problem lies in north and west. The remaining 310, 320 seats, where opposition has a strike rate against BJP in single digit. When I say opposition, it's not only Congress, the 4 parties. Congress, which is taking BJP head on between 220 to 250 seats. SP in Uttar Pradesh, we don't talk much about it. They are taking BJP head on in almost 70 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 65 seats. Then RJD in Bihar, they are supposed to take on BJP in 40 seats. And then finally the NCP in Maharashtra. Until and unless these 4 parties, Congress, SP, RJD and NCP, now Shiv Sena blocked together, unless they get their strike rate against BJP at least 25 to 30%, there is no way you can defeat BJP at India level. But in the same statement is hidden the secret of how you can defeat BJP in short run. If you get 30% seat in West and North, then 150 MPs who have won either from platform opposed to BJP or neutral to any formation, they come into play. So 150 non-BJP MP from East and South, club it with 100 coming from West and North, and you have a game. But for that, you need these 4 parties put together to win at least 100 MPs. Now look at the track record of these 4 parties. Congress in these states are less than 10 seats. Make no mistake, a lot of people look at Congress number at 55. That 55 bulk has come from Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Right. So if you remove 4 seats from Telangana, 9 from Tamil Nadu, 18 from Kerala, so Congress's number goes down below 30. SP has gone only 5 seats out of 65. So has Sharad Pawar's party, NCP. In whole 48, they have got only few 2 or 3. And RJD has got 0 MP. Until and unless these 4 parties put together, forget about Congress winning 100, put together this 4 party winning 100, there is no chance you can take on BJP no matter how much you try. Because simple maths, it doesn't add up. But if you are able to do 100, 120, even one of them, they turn the table and they win 40 or 30, then BJP will face the heat.
The Tamil Nadu question I was coming to a little later, but since you raise it, and I find that is the most interesting part, PM making this very frequent trips to Tamil Nadu. It could either be that he's so confident of the BJP performance in the northern states and Gujarat that he can put lot of focus in Tamil Nadu just to increase vote share, which seems to be a certainty. But do you think that he sees that where BJP had drawn blank earlier,
No,
he sees a collapse of the DMK or ADMK to ADMK-DMK binary to some extent. Do you see that happening?
See, there is data to back that strategy.
Yeah.
First,
the two Dravidian parties which have been in ruling formation in last 30-40 years, their combined vote share is going down below 70% now. And this has been the case for last 10-15 years. For the first time, I see it's going below 65% or 60%. That means more than 1/3 of Tamil voters are willing or looking for some options. Why BJP would like to invest so much in Tamil Nadu? It's not because of the blank or collapse of DMK, IA-DMK, which is not happening, by the way. It's simply because, like, you cannot dominate the politics of North unless you win UP and Bihar. You cannot dominate the politics of South until and unless you start being a major force in Andra and Tamil Nadu. It's that important. Tamil Nadu is UP of South. So, Karnataka, they have been winning 15-20 years. Still you are calling them a North party. Karnataka is very much South. It's because in the minds of people, South is, the nerve center of South is Tamil Nadu. They are big. And also this whole notion of Madras, what Chennai was used to call, that everything was part of Madras presidency, whether it's Andra, up to going up to, part of Orissa. So from that point of view, there is a strategic, psychological and political game that one would like, a long-term player would like to invest in. And I see BJP, like any national party, they are long-term players, so they would invest, even if it means 2% or 4% of incremental vote share. Forget about the seat and all. They have enough seat. But they want to expand, they want to be in true sense as the party across, which has got footprints across India, and it also gives them cover in 10 years' time. Sooner or later, sometime, someday somebody will defeat them in Bihar or UP. They want a cover. So they want, that cover will come only from United Andhra or Tamil Nadu. You can't cover for a defeat, a possible defeat in UP or Bihar by winning Mizoram or, Goa. You have to win a large state somewhere else. That's why they are investing this much in.
You earlier said that rulers find it difficult to know the public pulse.
Not difficult. That's how the nature is.
What do you make of Modi? Does he not have his finger on the pulse?
No, even he struggles. Even he struggles. If you go and talk to him in person, he would have impression about the grassroots reality, which is very different than what the reality is.
Interesting. We were discussing about the South, right? So in Telangana, the Congress has emerged again when it was thought that it's almost all over for the party. I remember you saying in one of your interviews that after 2015 elections, after 2014 elections, the BJP lost several state elections, but won in one state, that is Assam, which helped it bounce back or create the impression that it is going to be in the reckoning in the other state, in the state elections. Will the same apply to the Congress since it has won Telangana?
No, you are using part of what I said in a different context. So let's first come to Telangana. I don't subscribe to this thought process that Congress was finished in Telangana and they have all of a sudden they have emerged. Again, this is, when you are looking at data, tell me when Congress went down below 35% vote share in Telangana ever. It's just that after the victory, most of their MLAs deserted and went to BRS, what used to be TRS. Even in last assembly elections, Congress did reasonably well. They were the principal opposition. It's in the mindset of people. You and I don't want to look at hard data. We go by perception. It's an era of 2020. So nobody wants to study closely. You are saying Congress was party of 9 MLA and all of a sudden they have emerged. I am saying Congress was party with constant 35% vote share, which refused to go down no matter how hard BRS tried. So Congress was not a dead political force as it is safe in Tamil Nadu or West Bengal or Bihar or UP, where their vote share has gone down in single digit, 5%, 6%, 7%, over 20, 30 years and has not moved to double digit. Make this mistake. So Telangana Congress was not as weak as a lot of people are making it out to be. The second thing, they won, the vote was more against BRS, than for Congress. So these two facts. Coming back to you said that one victory. No, I didn't say about Assam in that context. I was asked the question on Indian Express Adda that was there any opportunity for opposition in last 10 years? And I said yes, there has been 3 distinct phases when opposition had huge opportunity. Starting from 2015. So a lot of us, we think BJP is dominating everything, they have won everything. And I give you again, I will re-narrate for your audience, as early as 2015, only 6 months, barely 6 months in government, BJP's electoral setback came in form of Delhi election. They lost January 2015, they lost to Aam Aadmi Party. They were butchered electorally. 67-3. The same year, in November, they lost the high decibel election in Bihar. Again, reduced to 55. Then again, in May, the election 2016 May, they lost Bengal, they lost Tamil Nadu, and they managed to win Assam. So what I was telling, the first opportunity for opposition came in this 15-16 months time period from January 15 to May 2016, when BJP did not win anything. They were still new in the government. There was no cult imagery, it was still in making. And opposition had their chance, but they were just lazy. They were thinking that sooner or later Modi will become unpopular and will bounce back. So you let that opportunity slip by. And it was not one-off event. 15 months, BJP did not had a single electoral success. And in Assam, when they finally managed to win, that was purely the mistake of Congress. The second phase came, again, when after the massive victory of BJP in Uttar Pradesh in 2017, people have forgotten the post-demonetization, the economic distress and the effect of it started showing up 3 months, 6 months later. So in 2018, there was unrest, social unrest started in Gujarat, the Patel agitation, as you know. The 3 young people, non-political people, Alpesh Thakur, Hardik Patel and Jignesh Mewani. Massive unrest in Prime Minister's own estate, leading to BJP almost losing the election in Gujarat in 2018. Almost losing the state. That was the worst performance of BJP in Gujarat in last 20 years. Then they went on to lose Karnataka. Then they went on to lose Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. So mark this time period again. December 2018 to December 2017, December 2017 to December 2018. Again 12 months, BJP never had any electoral victory. Congress tail was up. Rahul Gandhi was the president. They were doing well. BJP lost everywhere. Still, Congress could not capitalize on it. So BJP made a comeback. Then the third phase came in 2021, when BJP was defeated in Bengal and they didn't have electoral success anywhere else. That was the time when, if opposition would have got their act together post Bengal, they had a clear 2 year and a half to prepare, to be on the ground, to form the narrative, to raise. That was the time when COVID second phase hit the country. In last 10 years, Modi's personal approval rating has taken beating only once. That was in the after second wave of COVID. If you look at the MOTN survey closely, he lost almost 20 percentage point in his approval rating in MOTN. So post-COVID, there was like, even his supporters were shaking with their faith in Mr. Modi. They lost Bengal. That was the time to come together. Again, you allowed them to come back. 1 year, the vaccination, another thing, COVID subsided, people forgot, and now they are again back. So I am saying opposition had their moments. 3 distinct phases, each phase lasting for 12 to 15 months. And in those months, you did nothing, or what you did was not enough or not sufficient, allowing BJP to make a comeback. Now they are on rampage. So if you will drop the catch, batsman is going to make you pay, and that's what is happening. It's not that they played a flawless inning. They gave you the chance, opposition did not capitalize on it. So, coming back to your question, can Telangana be what Assam was in 2015-16 for BJP? Answer is clear, no.
After the elections, now there is a perception in Telangana, our friends from different parties are also here, that the BRS, a strong regional party, may find itself in an existential crisis if it loses the Lok Sabha election now. Because the BJP, as you pointed out, is now in double digits here in terms of vote share, and it's likely to increase. So how do you see this panning out? I mean, is this an existential?
I would, if I'm a BRS leader or a supporter, I would be extremely worried, and yes, it could turn out to be an existential crisis for BRS simply because the support base what BJP would be getting against a ruling Congress would be primarily or predominantly coming from the support base of what BRS used to have. So yes, the answer is yes. BRS guys need to be pulling up their socks and taking this as a real serious threat to the party, their existence, their dominance in this state, probably for the first time in last 10-12 years.
So would you agree that if the BJP crosses double digits in any state, one regional party in that state could be facing kind of an existence?
No, but that has been the case with any other party as well. You know, whether it's a regional party or national party. Say, for example, take West Bengal. Two national parties, the Communist Party and the Congress were the number 1 and number 2. The moment Mamata Banerjee crossed into double digit, she became the dominant force. Similarly, it has happened in Andra. TDP Congress, the moment YSRCP or YSR TRS got into double digit is what? You got some like visible, tangible support base. So then you can make a jump from there. So it's not exclusive to national party or regional party. Any political formation that gets, which is new or making a new entry in a territory and that gets into double digit vote share should be taken seriously.
Would anybody in the audience like to add one question to this ongoing discussion on Telangana?
Any questions from the audience? Or we'll come to the audience later. We'll do our bit of... When you talk about this Congress re-emergence in Telangana and they're trying another similar experiment in Andhra. Of course, on the ground, presence of of Congress is there. It was there in Telangana even when they were out of power, as it is there very strongly in Karnataka. So do you see a similar kind of thing happening in UP Bihar, Congress re-emerging in those 122 seats? Is it ever going to be a possibility?
See, ever of course. In short run, it's close to impossible. But in medium to long run, anything could be revived. But the comparison again, you are making a loose comparison between their situation in Telangana and Andhra. There are two distinct aspects which we need to take into account when we compare Telangana with Andhra. In Telangana, Congress was benefiting from the fact that by and large people thought that Congress helped create Telangana. That's a huge plus to have compared to Andhra where people think that you divided the state. Second, in Telangana, as I was telling, in electoral maths terms, Congress vote share never went below 35%. So to take the 35% vote to 45 or 50 is easier compared to Andhra where their vote share is less than 1%, 0.9% if I recall correctly. So it's very, very different. It's not something which one should compare, both in terms of numbers as well as the larger political acceptance in the society. Reviving Congress in Andhra is a far bigger challenge than making a comeback in Telangana.
Can we go to Kerala and then maybe come back to Telangana and Andra politics again? Do you see there is a similar effort, like there is an effort, very conscious outreach that is happening in Tamil Nadu, a similar kind of thing is happening in Kerala from the BJP's point of view. But do you see with the two very solid coalitions, LDF and UDF there, is there a possibility of BJP emerging as a force there unless one of the coalitions collapse, which doesn't seem to be likely?
Again, all your question or analysis is based on the existing political parties or the formations. I don't pay much attention to it. I would look at Kerala as a society. Why BJP has found it tough to break into Kerala is because of the huge population of Muslims and Christians. Now, if BJP were to break into Kerala, whether it's LDF, UDF, forget about that, you have to have the substantial support coming from Hindus, OBCs, and they have tried that strategy when they played this temple issue in a big way last time. But that's not enough. Unless they break into the Christian vote, and bulk of Christians start, or bulk or even say substantial segment of Christian society starts accepting BJP as an acceptable political ally or a platform, they would find it difficult to win Kerala. So their strategy would be consolidate or be the dominant player among Hindus and isolate Muslims would be their strategy. Till now it has not happened, but they are in that direction. I see. I'm not an expert on Kerala politics, but what I see is that they were focusing purely on OBC, Hindu consolidation. So that probably has given them the base. Now I see on ground what I hear a little bit from few friends I have, that BJP is making a very concerted effort to break into Christian segments. So see, politics, as I was telling before interview, is just a reflection of society. If you do not understand society, no matter how much you analyze about these political parties and who votes here, it is not, you can only analyze things retrospectively. If you want to look at future or do a future crystal ball gazing, then you need to invest more time and energy understanding the society and the pattern at the societal level, rather than what is happening to BJP or Congress. I would see, how the major formations in society, which side they are going. That is far more important. So from that point of view, Kerala is not a state where BJP would not be able to break into. They are already they have their significant presence compared to Tamil Nadu. So, but whether they will cross to gain seats, probably it might take few times. But once if they get into double digit in Tamil Nadu, and as they are progressing in Telangana, probably it all will come together. Also, language is a major barrier. One thing which you are not realizing, if you look at this east and south corridor I talked about, what is distinct is the language. So, if you are in Bihar, how do you introduce yourself? Okay, I'm Indian and I'm so and so, I belong to so and so caste. I'm from UPite or I am Madhya Pradesh. There is no sub-regional identity, which is a function in parts of the language. But if you are, say, person from Odisha, you will say, I'm Indian, I'm an Oriya, and then the caste or the class becomes the third layer. So Odisha, Telangana, Andra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, all these states, the language is one additional barrier which BJP, or for that matter any Hindi speaking party, has to overcome in order to dominate or become a dominant political force. So that aspect is very, very important.
Shall we sort of focus a little on Andhra politics and whether there is a possibility of Chandrababu Naidu who we fondly in the north call Babu. Babu making a comeback, is it a possibility? Or do you think Jagan is too strong and much ahead in the race for anybody to play catch up with him? And what do you think is the Congress new strategizing that they are trying to do by bringing Jagan's sister into the game? Do you think that is going to bear any fruit or make any political dent into the formation that is solidifying with Pawan Kalyan and BJP and Babu on one side, Jagan on the other, and Congress making this late effort to get into the game?
Well, calling an election is a difficult game, especially if you are not involved in it. But I see this whole assumption that Jagan is too strong to be defeated has no legs. He is on a sticky wicket. He is going downhill, not because how good or bad he is managing his elections or what his party is doing and which group is voting for whom. It's simply the function of how he has ran the state. Now, Andra would probably come in the middle income state if you look at the Indian landscape. And his government has not necessarily, his priorities, even in his own word, has been more about giving the doles, direct benefit transfer, even if at the cost of taking a lot of additional debt. So in a middle income state like Andhra, if you are not talking about capital, the new infrastructure, new capital creation, you are talking about only distribution side, you are running a big strategic, you are taking a big strategic risk. This might work in a low income state, but in Andhra, I don't think, where urbanization is more than 50%, people want to reward a government which survives or whose existence is only seen in terms of the free benefit you are giving to the masses. Because 50% people anyway are not even eligible for it. So you are alienating 50% people, you are not even reaching out to them. So somebody told me that he is trying to make these elections a class battle. Have-nots and haves. But again, you can make a class battle in Bihar, Jharkhand. You can't make it in Telangana. You can't make it in Tamil Nadu. It's very difficult. And even if you have to make a class battle, it can't be based on the DBT, because the younger audience, the younger part of the population, those who are educated, they are looking for job. They are not looking for 1,000 rupees benefit. They are looking for more factories. They are looking for better roads. They are looking for better medical and educational facilities. So if I am an Andhraite sitting in Vijayawada, would I take pride that Vijayawada is or Vizag is coming up as the future city? I will feel inferior to my counterpart in, say, Bangalore or Hyderabad or Chennai or Kochi. And therefore, it's not very difficult to make a prediction that it's very difficult for him to make a comeback. I also want to give another data. In southern state, because of this region, no politician has gone on to win 3 consecutive elections. Nobody has been chief minister more than 10 years consecutive. MGR was, but even during his tenure, there was a break. There was a president's rule in between. So technically, nobody in southern states have gone on to remain chief minister for more than 10 years. What does it tell you about the society again? Again, middle income states, society is, they are looking for those, but they are aspirational on relative basis. 40 to 60% urbanization, more education, all these things tells you that as a head of the state, you must not put all your eggs in one basket called freebies. And Jagan has made a mistake, and I think he would find it very, very difficult to make a comeback now.
You recently met Chandrababu Naidu.
I met him 2-3 months back.
2-3 months back.
Yes.
So may we ask what exactly
Can I add
transpired at the meeting?
Yes, so actually I tell you the context.
Just a moment, there is a gentleman there who wants to add to the question.
I'm Ramesh.
Please introduce yourself and
Hello. Yeah. I'm Ramesh, an ex-banker. Your observation on Andhra politics is very interesting. I am from Andhra. I'm closely watching. You said, I absolutely agree with what you said. Because Andhra, the lower income people are also more aspirational because I have opportunity to work in West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand also, where the lower strata will happy with the freebies because they are not that much aspirational as the people in Andhra. Because in Andhra, the worker who is working with me also think of becoming an IT, son to become an IT guy. That's what the aspiration level. So I take your point as far as Jagan running the risk against this. I got a specific question. Whether the opposition, Chandrababu, a team, able to put that face to take this head on? Have they, my understanding is they are not fully prepared.
Okay. Two things. First of all, my analysis should not be misinterpreted as putting people in Andhra as a superior breed than people in West Bengal. It purely the socio-economic condition of those individuals in the societies that make them think in one way or other. So, like a poor people in Andhra, a jobless laborer would not think of going to Calcutta. He would rather like to come to Hyderabad, while a poor person with a similar pedigree, similar income from Calcutta or neighboring place of Calcutta might like to come to Vizag and work. So that, please do not make it a racial or a, yes, that's not what it is. You said whether TDP has it or not, I don't know. I don't know if that's for the TDP to answer, but in two-party system what we have seen, that sometimes you need to be just hang in there. People don't vote for you, people vote out somebody and you are the by default beneficiary of it. So if TDP makes a comeback, it would be less to the credit of the work of TDP as opposition party and more the work not done by Jagan or not handled things, because the kind of majority he had, you know, he could have emerged as probably one of the most powerful leaders in South, given his age, given that he won that massive mandate, but he just boxed himself in the state, and within the state, I sit somewhere and I will keep giving these freebies, DBTs, and everyone will start seeing me as God or a giver of a provider. You know, when you start seeing yourself as a provider to the masses, you are making a huge tactical and strategic blunder. Also, it's a moral problem I have in it. In democracy, you are not a provider. Many leaders, they start considering themselves as providers. A part of it hurted KCR as well. When you sit in your palace, sorry, now the chief minister's residences, which are converted increasingly with the public money into palace, and you think that I am taking care of everybody, but that's not your job. Your job is not to take care of everybody. You are being elected to do a job which is being more than provider. Some of these leaders, when they start becoming providers, then people made to pay them heavily in the election, and that is what is going to hit Jagan. I know the majority here again would say that Jagan is looking strong, he is going to win, but again, I have no first-hand experience, I don't have data. My gut is telling that he is losing big, not losing big. Don't make it a headline tomorrow.
That's too tantalizing a thing to not make a headline out of.
Yeah, like in Bengal, when I'm saying that BJP is making a, BJP will emerge probably as the single largest party in Lok Sabha. Sometimes we are like this, people will say, oh, you are an agent of BJP, and that's why you're saying. And if I'm not saying this, then I would not be honest as a professional. But because I'm not a party spokesperson who has to say just what party wants. But that's the fact. Even if it comes at a cost that next 1 month and a half, YSRCP people are going to tell me that, he has sold himself to TDP. I'm sure in Bengal tomorrow, once the news is published, every TMC will say now he has become the true BJP agent and all. But you'll see the result. I see BJP making a huge comeback in Bengal, which is disappointing from if you are a TMC supporter, because in 2021 BJP was butchered electorally in Bengal. It's just that they have not been able to maintain the tempo. They have allowed BJP to make a comeback, and I see very tough times for TMC in Bengal, and same is the case for Jagan Reddy in Andra.
The buzz is that you are advising Chandrababu Naidu, that you met him.
No, listen, you told me, no, why did I meet him? When I won West Bengal, Chandrababu Naidu is very close friends with Didi. Probably he still is, I don't know, but they were all together in 2019. So he talked to me, but Didi impressed upon me that I must meet him. I didn't meet him for 2 years, but there was like a lot of pressure that at least meet him, because I'm saying that I'm not doing the work, but people are not going to believe it. So they are saying, oh, now IPAC is working, that means he is still helping Jagan and all. So I was advised by, say, those who are playing the intermediary, that at least meet him and tell that you are not on any side. So I met him and I told him that I am not advising anyone. I would not advise you also, because I have left this space. I am doing what I am doing. I came to meet and people say, oh, now he has stopped, now he has come back to advise TDP. Next day I am doing my Padyatra in Bihar. So there is, like, people just jump to the conclusion. I met him. I spent 3 hours with him. I told whatever I could have told him. He has to fight his own battle. What I can say on record is that I'm with neither of them. I'm with nobody in this election, because I'm not in this space. So I'm not with Congress or BJP. You are asking me my opinion. For whatever it is worth, I'm sharing. You want to take it, you take it. You don't. You want to put it in a trash bin. So be it. I have got no axe to grind here. I'm telling you the reason also why he's in a difficult situation. So yeah, you can make a headline, but it doesn't mean that I'm you guys have seen when I did YSRCP, when I run a campaign, I run 24/7. I have not been to Andra after his victory. I probably has gone once or twice. Both times I went to Tirupati, and that's it. I have never been to, nobody can say that I have been to Andra in 5 years during his regime. I never go to the state. I avoid going to the state where somebody has helped by me to win elections.
There's one thing I'm very curious about. Jagan has been in power, and there was this Andhra pride had been hurt when Hyderabad was lost, and they have not been able to actually build a capital city or another city for themselves. So do you think that issue of Andhra pride and the fact that there was economic activity of major economic activity could have took off? These are two reasons.
I'm telling you, it is emanating from his desire to be the provider rather than the leader. When you're a leader, you want to build your cadre, you want to build your supporters, you want to build a state. When you are a provider, you just want to take care in your own ways those who you think are going to be voting for you. So everything emanates from there. That so long I am giving money to some women across Andhra, whether I build capital, whether I build a school, whether I build road or factories or not, people will keep voting for me. So the notion starts from this, whether you consider yourself as a leader or you are seeing yourself as a provider. Somewhere he has started believing himself as a provider who can take care of everybody, which is not possible. You can't take care of 5 crore people. You don't have the resources. And first of all, whatever resources you are distributing is not your resource. It's a people's resource. You are the custodian, electorally given a task that maximize the resource and the potential, both. You left out potential, you are only working on the resource side. And that's what has probably hurt him. And we have seen it in Telangana. It's not that KCR has not run the free BG scheme. Which government do you think Ashok Gehlot did not run a government where a lot of freebies were given? But still he lost the election. Do you think Baghel was not taking care of part of society or many sections of society through freebies. All governments do this. Still they lose big. Why? Because people are not only interested in resource management, people are also interested in potential management. When you give hope, you manage potential, what the state and the individuals have, the societies have. If you don't, you're not working on it, then you're not going to win.
Like you were saying that investment in the future, the future narrative.
Yeah, why do you think likes of Kamraj are seen in such highlights in Tamil Nadu? Because they were seen as harnessing potential of your child by investing in primary education compared to just giving. So yes, free mixing gives you vote, but that does not create a legacy. That does not necessarily make you the tallest leader whose name mixi के नाम पे आप कितनी बार वोट देते रहोगे. But if somebody has invested in a better education system which is churning out hundreds of thousands of students benefiting from that investment, you will become much bigger leader and your chances of getting re-elected again and again goes up.
Many in Andhra would like to know one thing. You ran Jagan's campaign in 2019. So you must have observed Pawan Kalyan, the Janasena Party chief. What do you make of him?
No, I have not, of course, when you do an election campaign, you observe everything. I haven't met Pawan Kalyan till date. I have no desire as such as well. At that time, there was a lot of, when I came, I remember in 2017, August, after Jagan lost the by-election in Nandyal. There was a lot of people within the party or the sympathizer of ISRCP who advised or wanting me to explore or rather do alliance with Pawan Kalyan at that time. And I was not very keen. And that time, both me and Jagan, we decided that's not going to be a major factor. And we managed it well. Results came that way. So, but I have I don't have first-hand experience of the person or the leader, so I must not comment about it.
What is most fascinating about the Andhra situation now, political situation now, is the BJP's move towards TDP, which is so surprising. Jagan having supported it in parliament and everywhere and being more loyal in the king.
Well, more than BJP, this tells how wrong Jagan has been in choosing his advisors, his allies, his collaborators. He has put his trust in KCR and his friendship. You remember when he started, there was this big bonhomie between him and KCR, fell through. He put all his eggs in his collaboration support with BJP. You see what it is ending to. Look at his own family affairs, where it is. So somewhere it tells you that in 5 years you choose wrong partners, wrong collaborators, and you pay the price. You make the mistake, you pay the price. There is nothing called free lunch. So if you make a mistake, you will be made to pay the price, and he is paying the price. He should sit back and reflect that 5 years you blindly supported BJP even at the cost of hurting your own constituency. Why? Because you thought they will stand with you thick or thin, whatever comes. They are the first one to ditch you in the battle which could determine at least your future in near term. So if you make a mistake in choosing your allies and collaborators, you will pay the price, and especially in socio-political
Context, it's more true than other places.
Is there any questions from the audience on the southern states? Because we would like the conversation to go a little north after this. Yeah.
मेरा नाम आर.के. झुंझुनवाला है. As it is, I am associated with the Indian Express as a publisher. My question was, Modi ji is claiming 370 to 400 seats. What have you to say about this?
Well, this is more of a psychological warfare, part of the psychological warfare. Uh, just see how the public narrative has been shifted from whether BJP NDA is winning or losing versus whether they are going to get 370 or not. So, Prime Minister making that statement on the floor of Parliament has made people, even those who are skeptics, even those who are not his supporters, take notice that if Prime Minister is saying 370, there must be the gospel. This is more likely to be the gospel truth. The fact is, it's not. BJP winning on its own 370, probability is close to zero. It's very unlikely that BJP on its own can win 370 seats. As an NDA, they can improve their performance substantially from what they got in 2019. So when I say substantially, meaning last time they had 330. So they can easily add 10, 15, 20% more seats, but BJP on its own going to 370, meaning additional 70 odd seats for them, is highly unlikely. I will not give the number, sir. I have already said I have no kind of crystal ball to say that. I have said that if elections were to happen tomorrow, they appear to be in pole position. They are in a massive. They have massive lead over opposition formation. But sir, that is your words. I don't want to say all those things. Of course, if you win, the third term will come. That's not. Yeah. But again, I want to caution here, as more than the election victory, what BJP is trying to do, and leadership is trying to do, is to create this impression and sometimes make big blunders on the part of opposition, also saying that there is no tomorrow. They are playing in the hands of BJP. We as citizens should be concerned about getting sucked into this narrative that even if BJP NDA were to win 370, that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be any dissent. That doesn't mean that all problems of this country would have evaporated. This country has seen bigger governments. This country has seen government with 400 plus MPs. At its peak, Congress used to have for 20 years more than 2,500 MPs out of MLAs out of 4,000 odd MLA seats which are available in India. BJP at its peak has got roughly about 1,700 MLAs. So, but the narrative is being built as if no leader, no party has been as popular, as dominant as Mr. Modi. That's not how it is. With your age, sir, sorry, I hope you don't mind, you would recall in early 70s, Indra ji would have a similar aura, that she can't do any wrong, there is no dissent, there is no challenge, she can win, make anyone win. But even after the massive victory in 1971, on her own, without cadre, without party, Garibi Hatao, in 3 years' time, by 1973, at least 1/3 of India was on the street baying for her blood. So again, I repeat, never ever underestimate the opposition in this country. When you have 700 million people struggling to make their ends meet, you cannot take their support for granted. You don't know what could flare up where.
Good evening, Prashant ji. I'm Dr. Mahesh Konagala, official spokesperson, Congress Party here in Telangana. Nice having you here, evening. And thank you. In one interview, I've seen one of your interviews. You endorsed a strong willpower of Rahul Gandhi ji, despite facing his negative results. Still, he managed to convince that he is on a right path. I really appreciate that. And with the same spirit, we're continuing in Telangana. Now, my question to you is: seeing situations in India today, like rise in inflation, poor performance of rupee against the dollar, and poor external policy, and unemployment raise, farmers' issues. Having said all these, looking at the situation in India today, do you regret why helping Modi in 2014?
Well, two aspects of your question. First is the way you are portraying the situation in India. If we were having this debate in, say, 2014 or 2013, still someone would have said high inflation, two-thirds people not making $2 a day, a vast majority of people still living below the poverty line, health, infrastructure, education, job. So these problems are there, have been there, and probably for decades it will remain. You can't blame someone for this problem, like Mr. Modi is blaming Congress, he should not. At the same time, you cannot take credit also that we solved. If you would have solved, then you would not have reached where you are. The second point is, I already started by saying much before the session started, that you are giving me too much credit by saying that I helped Modi win this election. In 2014, he won because the situation in the country was such where people were looking for a new alternative. He won because the BJP, the RSS, the party, their cadre, their leaders, they put the hard work. They won because UPA 2 did not manage, Congress did not manage its affairs well. But for a second, assume that I have to take my share of blame. You are saying, do I regret? No, not at all. I'm not somebody who ever regret in life. I learn from my lessons, I don't regret. So I would have learned from that lesson how I choose to work with somebody or I shouldn't, but I don't regret. If I go to Bengal today, I helped Congress win Punjab. You must listen to it because you are a Congress spokesperson. Congress in its history has got the biggest victory with our help, quote unquote, when Captain Amrinder Singh was helped to win 77 seats in Punjab. And there was, 2 years after the victory, there was this agitation by contractual employees in Punjab who wanted to meet the Chief Minister, and Chief Minister was not giving them an appointment. So they sat on a dharna and they put a board that whoever gets us the appointment with Amrinder Singh, the Chief Minister of Congress at that time, we will give them the reward of 1 lakh rupees. At that time, one of the principal opposition leaders of Punjab, he went and did a press conference saying that whoever gets the appointment for this contractual employees with Amrinder Singh will get 1 lakh. Whoever brings back Prashant Kishor back in Punjab would get 5 lakh from us, because this is the guy who helped this Amrinder Singh win the election. Should I regret helping Congress? I should regret anyone and every. So when you are a Muslim in Bengal, you see hero in me because I helped Mamata Banerjee defeat BJP. If you are a BJP supporter in Bengal, you see me, every time you blame me when Mamata Banerjee makes a mistake or her government makes a mistake. So I cannot absolve myself. So I'm not trying to say that I do not have a role to play or I should not be. And that's why at some stage I said I'm not doing this work, because no matter who I help win, there will be something to regret and there will be something to celebrate. So I neither regret or celebrate, I just learn from it, and probably I have learned enough, 10 years, and that's why I quit and say I'm not doing this job and I have chosen something else to do in my life. That's how I see things.
And one continuation. From this interview, you used a few, analysis, like your analysis on Kerala. Why BJP could not, make there is a strong Muslim and Christian minority vote bank, and they're focusing on.
I don't call them vote bank. I said the society.
Having understood the Kerala social composition, your narrative is like Christian and Muslim voters are high in number. BJP is struggling to do that. But one thing I want to bring it to your notice from this forum, that one Mr. O. Rajagopal, BJP lone MLA, only single MLA of BJP from Kerala, He says 90% literacy in Kerala is the reason why BJP is not getting its foot in Kerala. So, through you, I want.
Well, again, see,
What is the reason?
Role of literacy playing a BJP MLA himself admitting.
yeah, see, as a Congress spokesperson, you'll have to look for these full tosses to hit. But see, this whole idea that if society is literate, they are less likely to vote for BJP is probably, it doesn't hold true anywhere, okay? You're saying that all those who are voting for BJP are illiterate is a huge political, no, whoever is saying, I don't care who says. I'm saying whoever says it, I don't give to who is saying. I'm saying it's, first of all, shows your lack of understanding. Second, it shows your arrogance, and it also makes you racist, because you are looking at as part of your fellow citizens and calling, because you are not able to defeat someone, you are saying, oh, they are winning because others are illiterate, or they are, some people making these statements out. It's neither in the interest of the person concerned, nor in the interest of society or in the country. The parliament is, that's how the parliamentary democracy works. There has been time when people have ruled this country with the predominant support from South. Congress was the primary example of it. So should the Indians, North Indians should have start blaming the South Indians? I don't think we should get into that. They are getting vote because they are doing something right, and they are getting vote, sorry to say, I didn't want it to be harsh on you, because Congress is not doing the job what they should be doing as a principal opposition party.
And on Kerala thing, analysis is taken. When you are going to Australia, you are saying that it's a Perth, you need to be prepared for the bouncy pitch. So it is much more difficult to a score run in Perth versus a Kotla Stadium or a Hyderabad Stadium. That's what I'm saying. For BJP's point of view, to win in Kerala, it is far more difficult because of the very significant high
proportion of minorities, including Christians and Muslims. That doesn't mean that whether they are going to win or lose. Winning and losing is a completely different thing. It is that much more difficult. That's the only point I made.
Good evening, Prashantji. My name is Dr. Shravan Kumar. I work for PRS. I just want to share a view based on the conversation that you had with Mr. Kalyan. Kalyan was saying that BRS is in the existential crisis at this point in time, and particularly if in case we lose in Parliament. I mean, you are a serious analyst of politics and political history. From 2 Parliament members to today, whatever the number that BJP has, I mean, that indicates that win and to lose and to gain really does not matter if you really have the tenacity and if you define the true purpose for the society and the country. Number one. Number two is, you have mentioned that we have to focus on the data to make any kind of inferences. In Telangana, in the recent elections, in the assembly elections, 39% I think the Congress got, and 37% I think BRS got, and BJP got 13.9%, and in 77 assembly segments they lost the deposit. So I'm not too sure to make a conclusion that BRS is an existential crisis because of BJP or its subsurgence. That's something that I want you to think about it. I don't want an immediate answer, but I want
what is your question?
My question is an observation. My question is an observation. If you want to answer, I leave it.
I hear you. I did not say, again, I understand what I say. He raised the question, is it the situation? I said you should take it seriously. Why you should take it seriously? Coming back to the data you mentioned, one should never look at the retro data and try to draw the conclusion about the future. This is the first time after VRS as a party you have got the setback. The KCR, he has been an iconic figure here. For the first time in an electoral fight, he has been defeated. So that itself is a very major setback. You said BJP moving from 2 to where they are, but they had multiple legs to build that journey from 2 to 300. You have only one leg, like other regional party, which is called Telangana. The data which should concern BRS is the 14% vote share what BJP has got has all come from your support base, largely. Otherwise, this would have gone to you. Now, with Congress as the principal ruling party, you are the principal opposition party, and a third party reaching 14, probably if you do not hold your things together, it could be a big risk. That's what I'm saying. I didn't say that it has already become, but it could become for sure.
Prashant, I have one more question. This is like a layman. As a student of politics. I have come into politics not because of any legacy behind me, to the choice, leaving my academic and corporate career. I have come into politics and I contested in 2009 for Parliament and 18 in the Assembly from the Congress. But this is the election journey that I had. And I've been closely watching you. And I also heard that, you are a great influencer today, which you agree or you don't know, but you are a great influencer on Indian democracy and Indian politics, and also the elections. I want to ask you one question. What is in this entire experience that you had, how is that your role? You said that I have the ability or I have a method or a process to listen to people in a structured manner. By listening or by influencing the entire process, how is that you have strengthened the democracy is one question. Two is that today I find that the Indian democracy is the biggest mockery and a big hypocrisy because of the kind of unholy nexus between the crony capitalists and the political parties. I asked this question to Mr. Rahul Gandhi when I was in the Congress party too, and I'm asking you also today. The expense limit is about 75 lakhs, so 40 lakhs or 75 lakhs for a member of parliament. If I engage a consultant like you or any other person, I have to shell down for a member of parliament election 1, 2, 3 crores of rupees. Like that in every election and every political party crosses that 40 or 75 lakhs kind of upper limit. 1. 2, we call it as a representative democracy. Even today, 20% of the people rule this entire country and 80% of the people remain as voters. I talk about backward classes, I talk about scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, minorities. Yeah. He's the only one who can answer because in this forum, he is competent enough to answer because he has seen the world. He has seen the politics so deeply, and like me, I'm sure several young people, educated people who wanted to get into politics also will ask this question. Can we really make it or not? Because today in Telangana or in Andra Pradesh or in southern India particularly, I have not seen that in Bihar, I have not seen that in Jharkhand. You want to contest as an MP, you need to have 50 crores. You need to have 50 crores, 100 crores. You cannot contest with 40 lakhs or 75 lakhs of upper limit that the election commission has put in. So in this kind of situation, you are a great influencer. You have set a new trend in this country to scientifically conduct elections. Where would you lead people like us or people like young people here in terms of strengthening the democracy, strengthening the constitution, breaking the nexus between this crony capitalism and the politics?
See, I have said this before. One unfortunate development I see for the southern states, which otherwise on relative basis on socio-economic parameters are doing better than the northern state, is the influence of money in the states like Telangana, Andra, Tamil Nadu, not in Kerala, but parts of Karnataka and Maharashtra. And like in North, we are to blame ourselves for putting too much on vote in the name of religion or caste. Probably southern people have to look and retrospect that why you guys are so much money driven. But I can tell you something. The money doesn't play the role in the final outcome, no matter how much you are spending. It has, because now both sides is spending, for good or bad, both sides are spending. So when the trend started, whoever paid 500 rupees benefited by getting extra vote. Then now the both sides are paying. People are taking money from both, but still they are voting for those who they want to vote. Look at Telangana itself. Especially on the financial resource side, anyone would agree that Congress had no match either to BJP or BRS, but they have won. no, again, on relative basis, if money was the factor in this room, if money was the single, no, I'm not saying that whether they are breaching the limit of 75 or not, forget about that part. I am saying, is it simply, elections have become simply the function of who has got more money? Answer is big no. Do not make that mistake. The same thing I answer in North. If you are thinking that elections are merely the calculation of caste, I answer is no. In North, I say if that is the case, in Bihar, I face this question every day in villages. And I say that Modi has won 39 out of 40 seats in Bihar. There is not a single caste man of Modi who lives in Bihar. In this room, everyone will say that people in UP and Bihar are voting on the basis of caste. Even people living in Bihar, they are not voting for caste, but still they think that they are voting basis caste. When I ask them that, how many of you are belonging to the same caste as Mr. Modi? They say, no, none, 0. And Mr. Modi has won 39 out of 40. The same thing, how many multimillionaires have won here, or people with bigger purse have won in Telangana or Andhra or Tamil Nadu, purely basis money? When you look deeper, you would realize that actually that's not the case. If you have the public support, resource will come. But resource doesn't guarantee the public support. Make no mistake. It's an unfortunate development in politics. Fortunately for in North, it is still at like almost negligible. In South, it is becoming more and more prominent. But it is for the people themselves to reflect. And parties will also self-correct because they would realize that this is no longer the delta. Both sides is putting. And I have done the elections in North and South. When people come in South, they say, I'm so and so, like you are introducing yourself. And they will tell you, sir, I will put 20 crores. And I said, but I have not asked you. So, no, sir, I'm telling you I can put this much. I said, I have not asked you. Why are you telling me this? Same thing when I meet people in North. They say, sir, I'm from Kuswaha community. वहाँ पे 40,000 कुशवाहा रहते हैं. I said, I did not ask you. So, these are the perceptions which are not in air. I must not be dismissive about it. Yes, money plays a role, but you have to go back and in your moment of despair, if you think, is it the delta? Is it something that could make me win or lose? The answer is no. Otherwise, no sitting government in South would have lost. And I told you, the more sitting governments in South lose election than in North. And those who are in power are, by default, are supposed to have more money. Then why those in power are being thrown out? So people in South, they have allowed this money culture to get, I would say, more prominent. But I would still give credit to the people here that they have not allowed it to become so dominant where they completely forget and forgive everything and vote only, sell their vote. They are taking money, but they are not selling their vote. There is a difference. They are taking money for sure. That's the wrong thing. But they are not selling the vote. They are taking money and after that they are taking a call who to vote for. So if you have it in you, you can fight and win. I know many, I don't want to name the names and put the numbers, people who have spent astronomical money and they have lost. You know it more than I would know.
Good evening, Prashant. This is
So don't lose hope.
electoral reforms is a very important thing and which is required.
See, no electoral reform, all this cap and these are state funding and all these are all bullshit. Sorry about it. In reality, unless you and I, so long people know that use of money is going to move the needle, they will find way to put money, no matter how much, what you do. The answer lies in society not changing their voting preference basis caste or religion or money. And as democracy, as we mature, there will be some deformity that will set in and there will be some things which will correct. So I think slowly southern states will realize, or somebody will stand up and say, I'm not going to give money and he will win, and then it will come down. This is a recent phenomena. Relatively speaking, it's 30-year phenomena. In last 3 decades, the money which has moved from 100 rupees to 500 to 1000 to 2000, Now earlier it was targeted, now it is universal, you are giving it to everybody, but at some stage it will become unviable because you cannot recover the money. So you will start lowering it down. So it will balance. It's like markets, the share prices keep going up. At some time people will realize it's not value for money, because that's how the masses work. The wisdom of crowd will set in, and somebody could be the catalyst. If somebody rises, becomes the catalyst, probably will happen sooner. Even if they don't have faith, people have this ability to make it loud and clear that money is not making you win election. The day politician knows that he is not winning because by spending more money, whether rules are there or not, they are not going to spend.
So we'll wait for the mindset to change, and sooner than later. Yes. Good evening, Prashant ji. This is Kullimadri. I'm Telangana BJP State Secretary, earlier BJP State Spokesperson.
Well, she has all good things to...
See, she will find all merit in what I said. Yes, please. No, I'm just joking.
No. I have a generic question first initially, and then I have something to ask. First thing is, with the kind of introduction that has been given about you, and I know you were modest enough to say that you were not part of the winning this one. You just were part of it, but it was not just because of you that many governments were formed. That shows your modesty, but still, I would like to ask you, like, whenever you take up some assignment with some party or some person in specific, does that really put some pressure on you with the kind of track record that you had? From where you started in all, does that really have some pressure on you?
Yes, see, first of all, I'm not doing it now. It used to be in the past. But that's the case in all walks of life. You are a doctor or a lawyer or a student. If you are sincere about your job, you put pressure on yourself that as a student you want to top the class or you want to do better than others. And that is how I don't see there's an external pressure as such. But I would have wanted to have this 100% winning record, and I would have put all the effort that...
Now, the reason for me to ask this question was, like, initially, when Kalyan Chakravarti ji has you, like, do you think Modi ji will know the actual ground situation? You said, like, no, he wouldn't know the exact situation, but that happens with everybody. I don't think it happens only in politics, it happens in every field, like whoever are placed on the higher this one, maybe they wouldn't be having such minute details from the ground that happens in each and every field. So I was wondering, like, maybe the first time you took up an assignment, maybe you too had all the ground informations, but as and when this one has been building up, did you still get these kind of minute things that you used to get earlier? Because obviously there would be something that would be on you already, that since you have built up your profile?
No, you are absolutely right. Like my first election in Gujarat, which is not talked about much, was the Vidhan Sabha election, assembly election for Mr. Modi. And I would have traveled more than 30,000-40,000 kilometers over 2 years doing it myself. In Lok Sabha, I would have had a team of 2,500 people working with me. And as you become bigger, quote unquote, in terms of your profile, it is much more difficult for me to stand on the road and ask and get the opinion. So you are more dependent on the processes, systems, colleagues. And that is why there is a wisdom and there is a merit in having this 10-year cap. Why do you think Western or mature democracies has this 10-year cap? I know it will not suit BJP, but because if you remain in the same position, this is science. As you rightly predicted about me, if I continue to do the same thing again and again for more than 10 or 15 years, it's very unlikely that I would be able to do something dramatically better. And that's why this 2-term cap is there, should be there in India also. And that's why probably I would have quit at the height of my career, whatever it was, when I won Tamil Nadu and Bengal. That was the high point, you could say, from those who look my career from winning and losing point of view. I said, enough is enough, I don't want to do it anymore, because as you rightly said, there will be some wear and tear, both intellectual and otherwise, and it's better to leave the space to somebody else who has got more fire in the belly, probably more connect to the grassroots, and I do something different. So what I'm doing today is grassroots. I have left everything and I live in village and I walk in the village for last 2 years. I have been doing this, because I want to rebuild that connect from scratch.
So my second question, what do you think would be the agenda for this election? Because do you think would people prefer a stable government, or what do you think about the India line?
See, I have already answered this question. These elections in 2024 is about Mr. Modi, either you are for him or against him. No other agenda, it's only one agenda. Whatever Modi stands for, his ideology, his work style, his delivery or lack of it, you are either voting for him or you are voting against him. Lot of people have asked me this question कि राम मंदिर का जो हुआ है कितना इसका असर होगा. I always say no, Ram Mandir thing is not going to get incremental vote to Mr. Modi. It's to BJP. It's Mr. Modi, and the four legs on which this whole Modi cult is built: the ideology, the Hindutva, the nationalism which he has started after he became Prime Minister. This India has become the Vishwa Guru. We have arrived at the global stage. It's ironical. Look at the data. In India, 2/3 people are saying that India's position in the global rank and hierarchy has gone up. When the same question was asked outside Indians, to foreigners, they did not see any difference in India's standing in the world ranking. So it's part of the strength of Mr. Modi and their propaganda machinery, or I would say campaign strategy. So Mr. Modi's his support and the cult and the vote is based on this ideology called Hindutva, neo-nationalism, hyper-nationalism, whatever you want to call it, the very significant number of millions and millions of direct beneficiaries, Labharti as you would guys say it, and fourth is this electoral muscle, which is together with RSS, the millions and millions of grassroots foot soldiers which BJP has been able to put in a synchronized manner to convert their support, take them to the booth and make them vote in favor of BJP is right now is at least in the Lok Sabha elections it's unmatched, and that's why you have this advantage. So anyone who wants to beat or take on BJP has to better them at least on 2 or 3 out of these 4. And one of the reasons why BJP doesn't do well on relative basis in state elections is because this one lever, nationalism, doesn't work. Like if I was doing an election against BJP in Bengal, I would counter nationalism with sub-regionalism. That Bengal should be ruled by people from Bengal, not from somebody coming from Gujarat. Similarly, on Labharti, what central government Labharthis or the welfare schemes are, you could have a state government welfare scheme positioned and portrayed better than what they are doing. And some of the regional parties like BRS or BJD, TMC, they have the grassroots cadre which could give a real match to BJP. And that's why BJP finds it not very difficult, but relatively difficult to get the same strike rate in assembly elections compared to the
I'm doing journalism and digital communication. My question is of Telangana and BRS. What do you think is the principal cause of BRS losing in Telangana? Misgovernance and the perceived arrogance of KCR, or the Congress emergence and 6 guarantees, or BJP tactics? Because KCR is aspiring as...
I think just one line, it was an election that BRS lost and Congress won. So whether it was perceived, I would say inaccessibility was more than arrogance is linked to that, but BRS top leadership being inaccessible probably was, it's not that people talk that they ran a bad government, but inaccessibility linked to that. If you were their critique, you would call it arrogance, but I would use the word inaccessibility. Accessibility was an issue, and corruption, especially at the kind of local level, what again people say anti-incumbency against the MLAs, those who were contesting, and the way party is structured itself. So rather than focusing on BRS organization, the party was ran through the elected representatives. So each MLA was by default was the chief minister of his assembly constituency. He or she decided the scheme, the beneficiaries, the officers, the likes us. So the moment people turned against that guy, there was no legs to back on. I would put these three things.
Yeah. One of our colleagues was.
Hi, my name is Navya. Continuing from his question, how do you see Telangana's politics panning out after the Lok Sabha polls? And will there be an attempt by the BJP to dislodge the Congress government?
So only Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah can answer that. But, going by what we see across India, look at what is happening in Himachal. So no government, if you are in opposition, no government, opposition government should feel safe. And if Lok Sabha elections are going to give us the result, which is a massive victory for BJP, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some, instability coming into Telangana government. But it also is a function of how well Congress does in Lok Sabha in Telangana. If Congress does well, they reach closer to double digit, say anything between 7 to 10 seats, I think that should be a counterweight. But I would see more development happening on the BRS and the BJP side, less on the Congress side, so long Congress crosses 5 or 6 at least, if not 7. If they come below 5, then of course there is a turmoil. So Telangana politics should be the two interesting pieces are BRS and BJP, not the Congress.
Sir, this is Bachanjit. How do you see the future of regional parties in the country? For example, as you said that BRS is getting weakened in Telangana or Karnataka, where Kumaraswamy Gowda is weakened, and Maharashtra, Shiv Sena is getting weakened, SP is getting weakened in Uttar Pradesh. So, how?
Yeah, so
this is
I get your
and
question.
one thing, sir, that
Is the era of regional parties?
regional.
No, this is again.
Yeah.
And there is one INDI conglomeration of all these regional parties have been formed. Now they have been completely disintegrated. All the
Most of us, we have this tendency to just look at what has happened today or yesterday and draw a sweeping conclusion. I would look at whether regional parties are on decline, yes or no. I would look at hard data. And I see the two principal parties in India, that is Congress and BJP, together they are getting roughly about 60% vote. And if you draw the graph for last 30 years, it's the same. So the national parties have not been able to get more than 60%, 65% vote. 35 to 40% is distributed among regional parties. Who wins, who loses, that's a different thing. Regional parties' trajectory could not be determined basis what happens to RJD in Bihar or TRS in Telangana. It is a function of, do we have enough Indians thinking or getting fed up with both BJP and Congress? That will lead to the rise of any third force, which you are calling regional party. And for that, I would look at the long-term data, and I see post 1970, that's like going back 50 years, the two principal opposition party among themselves, they have oscillating between 50% to 65%. Even in the last election, BJP got 38, Congress got 18. So roughly about 55 to 60% vote remains between these two parties. So you don't need to be a scientist or reading minute-to-minute breaking news to see what the future of regional party is. Look at 50-year data, it's showing that no, there is 1/3 or more than 1/3 Indians who are not convinced about these two parties and what they bring in terms of value proposition, and hence that dissent is going to be there, whether it is in the distributed form of different regional formations taking bulk of that vote in their respective states, or it comes in one coordinate, one form, an Aam Aadmi Party type of attempt which happened once, that no one knows. But yes, there is, I don't see BJP Congress vote share crossing 70%, and so long that doesn't cross 70%, there is always future for a third force.
recently Supreme Court has struck down this electoral bonds issue, sir. So what are your views here, sir?
So electoral bonds literally legalize the corruption. Those who would back electoral bonds, they would also say, because so long the donor is anonymous, You can easily give a road contract and ask the guy, rather than giving cash, just buy the electoral bond and give it to us. So Supreme Court, in its merit, rightly so, has struck it down. Let's wait for the new system to come. But equally important is to appreciate that if you take out electoral bond, which was wrong, appeared to be the way it was run, of course it was wrong, but you have to have an alternative. You can't go back to the old system where everything was cash. So yes, I would have, as a citizen, would have loved if Supreme Court would have struck it down and would have given some directive principles or some guidelines that, okay, restructure this program in XYZ manner. So that is what probably court has left it to Election Commission and the civil society and the larger group, all other stakeholders to figure it out. But we must not go back to the cash only electoral funding.
Hello sir, so I'm Nitika Banerjee, I'm a reporter here, and my question is, Kharge stated that there wouldn't be an election if Modi won again, and elections would basically become a sham. And you yourself said that the election commission is an extension of BJP, and we've seen that pattern in other central bodies as well. So given that and the current political landscape with BJP's influence, how far do you think Kharge's assertion holds merit?
Well, Mr. Kharge's statement, I said it before, it's if nothing else, it's a huge tactical error on the part of the head of a principal opposition party. Maybe they are saying it to send a message to voters that please vote for us, otherwise there will be no election, democracy will be compromised, constitution will be hijacked, and so on and so forth. But what they are not realizing is, by doing this, you are literally scaring citizens and probably getting into trap what BJP wants you to be in, where people start thinking that after 2024 there is no scope or opportunity or platform for us to dissent. Everyone has to fall in line. When Mr. Modi stands up in parliament and he says, and UP guys are not paying probably much attention to this statement, that get ready for big decision. Now, if you are his supporter, you are reading it in one way. But if you are not his supporter, it is sending shivers down your spine. So, as a principal opposition party, they are smarter and more experienced than me. But I would say that we will fight with all the might we have, but 2024 is not the be all and end all. There is life, there is democracy, there is country, there is society beyond 2024. And fights are not only, dissent is not only reflection of how many assemblies you have won or how many parliament seats you have. Look at what farmers are doing. They are not associated necessarily with a political party, and they are making this mighty appearing government go down on their knees. 50,000 odd people determined for right or wrong reason, and they are making the government come on their knees. So I wouldn't, first of all, I would disagree with Mr. Kharge's statement. Second, whenever you have a strong government, no matter whether it was a Indra ji led Congress government, Rajiv ji's government, or Modi's government, depending on who you are, you might put more blame on Congress and less on BJP, and if you are a BJP supporter, if you are a Congress supporter, you will put more blame on Modi. We have seen, this country has seen, the democratic institutions have been under pressure, have always been under pressure. Whenever you have a very powerful government, and that is why probably there is a book you must read, The Myth of Strong Leaders. When you have a very all-powerful leader, usually these systems and institutions, protocols and practices come under pressure. But I would like to end by saying that as citizens or as journalists, you are probably a stakeholder with responsibility. We must not undermine the wisdom and the strength of people in this country. No matter how strong a leader you are, no matter how big a party you have, no matter how many elected representatives you have under your belt, you cannot steamroll 1,300 million people, 1.3 billion people. It's just not possible. You go to the village and ask somebody, and they will tell you, and I do this every time, that you have voted for Lok Sabha in BJP, for BJP in Lok Sabha, why are you voting for Mamata Banerjee? And you know what typically people say? Sir, सारा power एक ही आदमी को थोड़ी दे देंगे. So a common looking people is far more smarter than you and I, and hence we should have the trust and faith in the people here. The system sometimes could come under pressure, but I do not see, I'm not one of those who see everything crumbling just because 2024 Modi is going to win. This country has seen bigger governments. You know, Mr. Nehru was more than 3 terms, Indra ji was more than 15 years. So it's not that if Mr. Modi wins, it's what BJP wants us to believe, that this has never happened in the history. This has happened in the past. This country has seen the good and bad of it and has dealt with it, and people have resilience, the character to deal with it if the need arises. So in this country, make no mistake and have faith in the people here.
If I can just add to that, if a Modi 3.0 is a fait accompli, what do you think is going to be the nature and shape of things of the Modi government and of India thereafter?
I don't know. Definitely you would have more decision, and I again underline the word, more decisions coming your way or our way, which would appear quote unquote decisive. May not be beneficial, or may or may not be beneficial, but appearing to be decisive, big move, big decisions. So, but in democracy, we have looked at last 100 years, 200 years, you study closely, you know that all decisive appearing decisions are not necessarily good decisions. So many times what people say, oh, this government is decisive, this leader is decisive. We have got better economic and socio-economic progress under quote unquote not so decisive leaders like Narasimha Rao and Vajpayee and coalition governments. Then decisive leaders like Indra ji or Modi. Again, I give this data and then probably we close. It's like going on forever. If you look at the average GDP growth rate of the years ruled by one leader, one party rule versus coalition government, most of us we think the coalition governments are mess. The average GDP growth during coalition governments has been double than that of the single party rule in this country. So,
all our rights came back to us.
Sorry?
All our rights.
I'm just saying people understand वो बड़ा growth हो रहा है, decision ले रहे हैं, जल्दी सी सब चीज ज़्यादातर ये जो businessmen वगैरह है, पैसे वाले लोग कह रहे government है, बढ़िया decision हो रहा है. I'm talking about average economic growth, GDP growth. If you club all coalition governments, 3 years of Janata government, then minority government of Narasimha Rao ji, then followed BP Singh, before that, Dev Gowda ji, Gujral ji, Vajpayee ji, all this government put the economic growth, GDP, it's twice, not little bit, twice, then Rajiv Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, Mr. Modi, Jawaharlal Nehru, it's twice, 100% outperformance by coalition governments. This is the hard fact. So don't go by perception.
Yeah, we haven't asked about your own yatra. The two last.
Good that you didn't ask, because there's nothing much to.
Yeah, no, just one small thing we didn't, I would like to ask that, you know, it's been constantly said that Rahul could not the opposition could not put its act together. Rahul Gandhi has been out on a yatra. And do you think the second yatra did not click, despite the fact that he has been raising the issues of unemployment?
I've already said this.
Yatras have got its own merit, One of the most talked about political yatra has been Somnath to Ayodhya by Advani ji. That yatra per se did not make BJP the single largest party or party with lot of MPs. That yatra helped them set the agenda. That yatra helped Mr. Advani to become the household name. That yatra made BJP reach to the villages, allowing them to recruit or build their organization. That all put together helped them win elections. So if Rahul ji is doing a yatra, definitely it's going to help him. Definitely it's going to take his name and his ideas, his ideology, what he stands for, what he doesn't stand for, closer to the masses. But the yatra per se will whether it will make him win elections or not, that's fundamentally it's a wrong question to ask. It's not, yatras are not going to make you win elections. It could contribute to it. The second yatra, I have said this again, so I have no hesitation in repeating. If for nothing else, purely from the timing point of view, this has been the big strategic blunder on the part of Congress. You don't leave, you are a commander of multi-nation army, and you leave the headquarters and go to the, some side battle, leaving the headquarters unattended. So he is one who is calling the shot or running Congress. Not only Congress, all other allies are dependent on his decisions, his views. And when he is needed at headquarters to probably stitch the alliance, seal the seat deal, build the narrative, do the grassroots campaign, raise resources, finalize candidate, he is doing yatra. So whoever has advised him is I think it was a worst time to do a yatra, and that is why you see less chatter and acceptance or appreciation of the second yatra compared to the first one. It's purely a function of time. You do the right thing at the wrong time, it's not going to give you the result.
सर बात कुछ हो गया तो जन स्वराज के बारे में एक बात हो जाए इसके बारे में जन स्वराज पार्टी है आप प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं करने वाले हैं सर आपने मोदी जी के साथ काम किया है राहुल जी के साथ और जितने भी देश के तरह तरह के लोग हैं स्टालिन और अखिलेश यादव के साथ ऐसे मतलब मैं यूपी से हूँ और बिहार में रहने वाला हूँ तो मैं आप पे कैसे भरोसा करूँ कि आपका विचारधारा या जन स्वराज पार्टी की विचारधारा क्या होगी कैसे हम आप पे भरोसा करेंगे मुस्लिम
बिल्कुल आपको भरोसा नहीं करना चाहिए पहले तो आप अपने फैक्ट्स कुछ करेक्ट कर ले देयर इज नथिंग कॉल्ड जन स्वराज पार्टी ठीक है जन स्वराज एक अभियान मैंने शुरू किया है जैसा भाई साहब ने कहा कि 10 साल आपने ये सीखा वो जाना बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर हैं आप सोसाइटी को डेमोक्रेसी को बेहतर करने के लिए क्या कर रहे हैं तो आई सी इट्स माई ऑब्लिगेशन towards my state and also towards the larger society that go back and try something which is the purest form of formation of a party inspired by what Mr. Gandhi has taught. Mr. Gandhi means Mahatma Gandhi has taught us. So अभी तो वही कर रहे हैं और अगर आपको तो यही नहीं मालूम है कि वो जन स्वराज अभियान है कि पार्टी है लेकिन अगर आपने सुना है सुन तो लो मेरे भाई अब तो मतलब दिक्कत यही है कि मतलब व्हाट्सएप पे आप लोग पढ़ते हो व्हाट्सएप पे ही एनालिसिस करते हो और व्हाट्सएप पे ही कंक्लूजन लिख देते हो मैंने ये कहा है कि पूरा बिहार गांव गांव रह के चल के जिसमें 3 बरस लगेंगे 18 महीने से मैं बिहार के गांव में ही रहता हूं वहीं पे रोज चलता हूं उसी गांव में संगठन बनाता हूं द वे कांग्रेस ग्राम समितिज वेयर बिल्ट इन 1920s व्हिच प्रोबब्ली यू डोंट इवन नो लेकिन हम आप पर कैसे भरोसा करें और इसमें पहली बात जो बताई जाती है कि आप किसी पर भरोसा मत कीजिए अनलेस यू स्टैंड फॉर योरसेल्फ अनलेस यू स्टैंड फॉर योर चिल्ड्रन अनलेस यू स्टैंड फॉर योर ओन गुड नो पार्टी नो लीडर इज एवर गोइंग टू हेल्प यू एंड दैट्स द कोर मैसेज इफ यू आर इवन वॉचिंग व्हाट्सएप और यूट्यूब यू शुड गो एंड वॉच दैट एवरी स्पीच आई स्टार्ट विद this is the reason why you should come together rather than criticizing leaders. You find among yourself how you can come together, form a party and then help yourself and your future. अब आपको क्या है झंडा लेकर चलने की आदत पड़ी हुई है तो आप सोच रहे हैं कि सर राहुल गांधी का झंडा लेकर चले उसके बाद तेजस्वी का चले अब आपका चले कि ना चले मेरे भाई हम पहले कह रहे हैं कि हम वो व्यक्ति नहीं है जिसके पीछे चल के आपका कुछ भला होने वाला है हमारी भूमिका उस अभियान में एक कुम्हार की है आपने हिंदी में सवाल पूछा है कुम्हार मतलब जो घड़ा बनाता है आपने देखा होगा घड़ा जो है वो तो मिट्टी और चाक से बनेगा अच्छी मिट्टी हो चाक ठीक हो तो कुम्हार थोड़ा सा सहारा देगा वो घड़ा बन जाएगा सो व्हाट जन स्वराज अभियान इज टू गो टू द मासेस आइडेंटिफाई हेल्प देम आइडेंटिफाई अमंग्स देमसेल्फ दोज हु कैन बिकम लीडर ब्रिंग देम ऑल टुगेदर ओवर 3 years एंड मेक देम फॉर्म अ पार्टी मैं जो काम पहले करता था और अभी करता हूं उसमें फर्क क्या है फर्क कुछ नहीं है पहले मैं लीडर्स को पार्टीज को एडवाइस करता था कि अपना संगठन कैसे बनाओ चुनाव कैसे लड़ो जनता से संवाद कैसे करो क्या प्रॉमिस करो क्या स्लोगन डालो काम मैं आज भी यही कर रहा हूं पहले ये दलों और नेताओं के लिए कर रहा था, आजकल ये बिहार के समाज के लिए कर रहा हूं। और मेरी कोशिश है कि इसको अगले 3 साल, 4 साल, 5 साल में एक प्रयास के तौर पर इसको करके देखा जाए। एंड आई हैव गिवन 4 years, 5 years, I have set 4, 5, 10 years of my life to do this. आप बिल्कुल इस पे भरोसा न करें। अगर बिहार के हैं तो वहां जाइए, जुड़िए, उसको देखिए, समझ में आए तो उसमें भागीदार बनिए, न समझ में आए तो बाहर बैठ के कमेंट्री करते रहिए।
So, yeah, in Telangana, Congress got into power and Praja Palana is going on. People's governance is going on. We are under the guidance of Rahul Gandhi ji and dynamic leadership of Revan Reddy ji. We are delivering our promises before the deadline, what we have promised to the public of Telangana. And definitely we are going to perform. We are going to perform better in Lok Sabha elections so far ever in the history that we had witnessed the results. We are aiming a large number. But now my question to you is, there is a discussion on destabilization of governments in India and especially in Telangana post Lok Sabha. So having this, services to the public of Telangana, having this people's government to the public of Telangana, if something goes wrong, definitely people of Telangana revolt against BJP. But when this should stop? Is this conquering Stone Age politics that we are running into, a conquering state by state?
The biggest security or assurance is that you win 10 MPs, nobody would dare to destabilize you. Rather than doing badly in election, being put under pressure by BJP and then hoping people to do revolt, you rather work on getting people's support and get the maximum number of MPs. Nobody will destabilize you. Nobody will destabilize you. What all you said, whether I don't know about it, but I'm saying if all goes well, and if everybody in Telangana for Congress should do well. And no matter how strong BJP is, if Congress does well, they would not be able to destabilize. You look at Bengal. BJP did well in Lok Sabha. Then Trinamool, almost half of Trinamool ran away. What is the answer to it? You are saying, you can talk about the character of the leaders of BJP and the party, what they do, what they are doing, and you will say, you will blame BJP, BJP will blame you. The single assurance is, the day TMC won election in Vidhan Sabha, no poaching, nothing is happening. If they lose again Lok Sabha, then again there will be a pressure on the see, political leaders, they are also seeing which side the wind is going. If it is going towards Congress, no amount of money will, or no amount of pressure will make Congress leaders leave Congress and join BJP. So the best surety or insurance for the Congress's government stability is win big in Lok Sabha.
So, PK, thank you so much for candidly answering so many questions, candidly and patiently answering so many questions.
Thank you.
In so much
Thank
detail.
you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.